Alright, in this video we are going to learn how to make a bracelet using a circular loom. And so you need a piece of cardboard and you need a circle shape that you are going to trace and cut out. Once you have that done, then you are going to find the center approximately. It really doesn't even have to be the center, but it needs to be somewhere in the center. Okay. Then I'm going to make sure that I have a total of 8 of these ends. So if I go in between the 2 lines I just drew, up and down, and up and down, I should have a total of 8 sections. And again, you'll see that this is not in the center. That's okay. So I'm going to take my pencil and just poke a hole. I do not want that hole to be too big, otherwise the knot will come through in just a little bit. So that's approximately what we need. Then I'm going to cut a little slit on the end of each line. And again, you don't want this to be very big. So I would say, I'm going to say maybe 1/2 inch on each of these. So I'm just going to go in and cut just a little bit on each. If you cut too much, this gets really uneasy to use. Hard to use, would be a better word, I should say. All right, so I have 8 slits for my yarn to go through. Now, next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get a total of 7 threads or 7 pieces of yarn, and they are all relatively close to the same size. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Good. Okay, and you can see I have a couple of repeated colors. That's okay. I would try and have at least 2 different colors, but you can go all different 7 pieces. That's really up to you. The length of these is essentially the length of from my chest to the end of my arm. So I would say, okay, I'm going to take it and I'm going to stretch it out like that piece is from here to about the middle of my chest. And this is actually a little longer than that. You can always cut it down if you have too much. So you can see that I lined up these 7 pieces. And the next thing I'm going to do then is they're lined up pretty close to being even. And I'm going to go ahead and wrap it around my 2 fingers and put a knot at the end. Okay, that didn't work, so let me do it again. I'm going to go a little bigger with my loop here. Okay, there's my loop. Stick the ends through and make it into a knot. So I'm going to push it up just a little ways and really make that a tight knot. Okay, so then I come to this side, and I can do this one of 2 ways. I can put this knot right where the hole is, and if I'm lucky, I can poke it through. Or, probably the best way would be to twist it and try to stick it through going the other way. I'm going to trim these down to make them all close to about the same without cutting my finger, I hope. So I'm going to try it this way. I'm going to twist them. And while they're twisted, I'm going to put it right by the hole. I'm going to take my pencil and I'm going to poke these threads or yarn, the pieces through. If you don't get this on the first time, that's just fine. It happens. Okay, and as I start to see some of these come through because they're twisted, I should be able to pull most of them all the way through. So interesting thing is I did this backwards because now I don't see the lines, but it's still okay. It's going to work out just fine. And so I'm going to pull, pull, pull until I get this all the way through. Got a little bit of a mix up here, so we'll figure out what's going on here in just a second. There. Okay. So again, it will work either way. But I'm going to go all the way to the knot. And again, a small hole works best, just so that knot does not come through. You see I keep pulling these up. All right, so there we go. We got this. This is going to be the tail of the bracelet. So I'm going to take each one of these strings and I'm going to put it through one of the slits. Doesn't matter which way. I have 7 strings and 8 slots. Okay, so that means I have one empty here. So I always put my thumb on the empty one, and then I count up 3. So there's the empty one, 1, 2, 3. I'm going to take that one out, and I'm going to move it to the empty one. Then I'm going to rotate this around. Now I went clockwise, so I put my thumb on the empty one, and 1, 2, 3. Put it in there, and rotate. 1, 2, 3. And you'll get to the point where you're doing this without really even counting. You just know after a while. And every once in a while you have to take the yarn or the thread and you have to untangle it. So I just kind of run my fingers through it like this. But this will start to show up. It'll get longer and longer and you'll have a braid going through. So, and that's it. So again, thumb on the empty one, 1, 2, 3, and through the empty. Rotate, 1, 2, 3, and you just keep doing this until you get the length of your bracelet, and then you have to tie it off. So that is going to be the end of that video.